Hi, I'm Amy, this is House of Nash Sheets, and today we are making easy drop biscuits. This is one of the easiest recipes you can make for biscuits. I've got baking powdered biscuits and southern buttermilk biscuits on the blog, but if I want something really fast, these drop biscuits are my go-to. So we're going to start out by adding 2 cups of all-purpose flour. And this is just regular unbleached white flour. And then we've got some baking powder and baking soda. And I'll include a link to the recipe below that you can print out to follow along. And then a little bit of sugar and some salt. We're going to whisk both of those together. And the reason you're whisking this now is because you don't want to overwork your biscuit dough, and so that evenly disperses the baking powder and baking soda so that the biscuits will rise up nice and fluffy and light. Now we're going to set this to the side and we're going to melt our butter. And I've already got my buttermilk chilling in the refrigerator so it's nice and cold. And there's a secret trick that makes these biscuits turn out amazing every time. So I'll be right back while I melt this butter. Okay, so I've got the buttermilk cold out of the fridge and we've melted our butter and let it cool slightly. We're going to add these together. Now the reason we're doing this step is unlike traditional southern buttermilk biscuits, which I love to make, those require some folding and some careful cutting in of cold butter. It's a little bit more work. These are just a little bit easier and we're gonna drop them and they're going to still puff up and be nice and flaky. So we're going to take our butter that we've melted, and it's salted butter, and we're going to add it to our cold buttermilk. And as you stir those together, the temperature difference is going to make the butter get a little bit chunky or a little bit slushy, and then we'll add that to the flour mixture. So I don't know if you can see, they're a little bit of it's a little bit chunky or slushy. I've got a picture that I took that's in the blog post that you can see kind of how it's supposed to look. But we're going to take this and we're going to pour it into the flour mixture. And then we're just going to mix those together. And I just use a fork to do all of this. That way it keeps me kind of from over mixing. We're just trying to moisten everything and make sure it all combines. Okay, make sure you've got all the flour from the bottom of the bowl. Sometimes it likes to hide, so turn it all over to get that. Okay, now we're just going to drop our biscuits onto our baking sheet. So I've lined a baking sheet with parchment paper and I've got my oven preheating to 425 degrees. So you can use a 1/4 of a cup measuring cup, or I've got a large cookie scoop that I'm going to use. You just scoop out your biscuits and drop them right onto the parchment paper, which is so much easier than rolling them out and cutting them out with a biscuit cutter, which is why these are easy drop biscuits. And these are great with my sausage gravy for biscuits and gravy. You can slather them with butter and honey, put jam on them. They're delicious as a side with soup or a salad for dinner, something like a super easy bread to make to have with dinner. Or you can make them for breakfast. It takes 5 minutes to whip these up for breakfast, and then my kids have hot biscuits for breakfast. Okay, and you should end up with 10 to 12 biscuits. Just space them apart on the baking sheet so they have a little room to puff up. And we are going to pop these in the oven for about 13 to 15 minutes until they are golden brown on top. Okay, so we just pulled our drop biscuits out of the oven, and then I really like to brush them with a little bit of extra melted salted butter, just to give a buttery flavor to the tops of each of the biscuits. This is totally optional, but it's really good. And that's it. Those are our easy drop biscuits, and they are going to be perfect slathered with some butter and honey or some jam or even bacon jam if you want a savory treat. These are great with soups, salads, fried chicken, anything you want. They are a fantastic side, or eat them for breakfast. I think you're going to love them. All right, so now I get to taste one of these biscuits, and my favorite way to enjoy these is to split them open and drizzle them with some honey. So Got my honey here. I'm gonna give it a nice drizzle. Okay, now I'm gonna have a taste. I could seriously eat biscuits with every single meal. I love them so much. Pour some sausage gravy over them for a hearty breakfast. These are delicious. I hope you guys love this recipe and you make these easy drop biscuits at home. If you do, let me know in the comments below what you think, and be sure to hit like and subscribe to my channel for more great recipes just like this one.